Hi, John Dwyer here from the instituteofwow.com. I have a lot of people asking me how they can get Jerry Seinfeld to be spokesman, as in advertising spokesman for their business. Stick with me, I'll show you how you can do that. Now, I told a fib then. I'm not going to show you how you can do it because it's very unlikely that you will get Jerry Seinfeld to be a spokesman. But one of my, I guess, greatest marketing coups over my career has been when I got Jerry Seinfeld to be the spokesman for one of my clients, which was the Greater Building Society. Now, those who are around my circle are sick to death of me showing off about the fact that I worked with Jerry for 3 years. I think my kids, I've got 6 millennials, if the name Seinfeld comes up, they go, Dad, we know you worked with him for a few years, all right? But the fact of the matter is that if you were lucky enough to work with someone like Seinfeld for 3 years, I think you'd probably be showing off about it for many years thereafter as well. But nonetheless, look, all jokes aside, a lot of people say to me, look, how do we get something like that? Now, they're probably not going to get Jerry Seinfeld, but how did that all happen? And can you tell us the story so that we might be able to at least think big, if you like, think outside the square. Look, it simply happened because I'd been looking after the Building Society's marketing as a consultant for, I don't know, 6 or 7 years. And we catapulted their home loans to another level because I devised a promotion for them, which was swap your home loan from another bank and we'll give you a free holiday. Now, it took everyone's eyes off the price because they knew that if they got a home loan from the Greater or swapped from one of the banks, they'd get a free holiday. And depending upon the size of their home loan, they could go to the Gold Coast or Cairns or Fiji or Hawaii or Tahiti or Disneyland, whatever it may be. It was quite a spectacular offer, and it just made, well, billions of dollars worth of extra home loans for the Greater. And around about half a dozen years into it, the general manager of the Greater said to me, look, can we take it to another level? I said, well, what do you mean? He said, well, you tell me. And a mate of mine had been doing the Billy Connolly commercials for ING. And I said to him, how do you do that? He said, oh, well, wherever Billy Connolly is in the world, we just take a camera crew, we pay him X dollars, and we knock it over in the space of a couple of days, then we've got a year's worth of commercials. Okay. I decided to do the same thing with Seinfeld. And I won't bore you with the details, but he is the hardest person in the world to catch. I mean, he's harder to get to than the Pope. But persistence beats intelligence, so I kept at it and at it and at it, and eventually convinced Jerry to take the role. And obviously he got paid a handsome sum, but the fact is that he signed up to be spokesman for the Greater Building Society for 3 years. I'll play you one of the ads so you can see what happens. Not when you just get a spokesperson to label slap their name on it, but actually get them involved in the product. And Jerry was just a delight to work with. He's exactly like he is on TV. He's just a really nice guy. But what we did is we didn't label slap it. So if you walk into Woolworths at the moment and buy, I think it's Huggies, but it's one of the baby nappy things. They've got the Wiggles pictures on the outside. That's it. There's no toy inside. They don't have the Wiggles promoting the nappies. It's just bang, label slapped. That means they're not getting the best out of the equity that they're paying for with the Wiggles, okay? Well, that's not the case with anything that I'm involved in. If I get a celebrity involved in something, then I get them involved so that we are, exploiting the equity of that person as much as possible. And the person doesn't mind because they understand that's what they're getting paid for. So in this instance, we shot the commercials over near where Jerry lives because it was more convenient for him. It was a little country town called Cedarhurst, and we just got Jerry to stand outside a mock-up of a Greater Building Society branch, and he was telling jokes, and of course people walking past and didn't care. So it was one of those silly sort of things. It worked like a dream. Guess what? The results within the first 24 months of using Jerry Seinfeld as a spokesman, the results were that their home loans tripled. We're talking a lot of money. Let me show you what one of those TV ads looked like.
I'd like to talk to you about a home loan. Not for me, for you. I have a home.
Get a Getaways home loan from the Greater. It could be the most fun financial decision you'll ever make. Just ask a Greater customer.
When we shopped around for a home loan, we found the Greater had one of the lowest interest rates.
And a free holiday with over 200 choices, and there were no catches.
Get a Getaways home loan and go on a free holiday. Or loan us some money and we'll go on a holiday. Either way, someone's getting out of here.
Okay, so you'll see that we used the equity value of Jerry's, stature and of course his humour. This is what the general manager of the Building Society had to say about the campaign.
The unique skills that John brings to the Greater Building Society have been outside the square thinking, introducing campaigns that not only have wow factor but have measurability around them. So it's not just doing it for the creative execution of them, it's also to make sure that our business at the end of the day benefits from the campaigns that we do. I think for a lot of other organisations, they're not prepared to put the effort into doing wow type campaigns. I think it's easy to do things that are fairly bland or are copying their competitors. But at the end of the day, unless you are going to do something that's got some wow factor to it, you're not going to get the results.
And I've got to show off. Okay, this is Jerry's manager, George Shapiro. Has been Jerry's manager for decades now. Lovely guy, and by the way, he used to be the manager of big stars like your Rock Hudson's, Gomer Pyle, which was Jim Neighbours, and a lot of those superstars from years gone by. But he's been Jerry's manager for quite some time. He's a hoot to be around. George Shapiro, his name is, and you'll see here he's taking the piss out of me.
I have to say, JD, get a shot of JD.
I'll do my humble look.
The man is beyond brilliant. So far beyond brilliant, he burns out.
Look at the colour of the face. I have burned out.
Look at his face. You want to see a man that's burnt out?
I don't know whether that's sunburn or blood pressure, George. I'm not sure after all of this. Yeah.
But Don should see all the footage that was shot yesterday, and he will be thrilled and delighted. He'll take all the credit. Yes.
Of course I will. Oh, by the way,
John Dwyer will take all the credit for everything that happened yesterday. Jerry Seinfeld was okay, but this is the star. This is the star of the show. You getting a picture of him?
Yes, he is. We're in a two-shot.
There's a two-shot.
A two-shot. Now, George, what I want you to tell these guys, by the way, is what we got away with yesterday. You were saying...
he was drinking all day in the tavern.
No,
that's what he got away with. That tavern right on the corner. If you could get a shot at that tavern.
Not that fast.
See, that's what he got away with.
Why did I even do this?
You brought it up.
Why did I start there? Why did I start there?
He brought it up, getting away with it.
George, could you just tell us, though, you were saying yesterday you've never seen Jerry deliver so much in a day, but...
That's right. No, that was the best commercial shot of production in one day that I've ever seen in my life. And I said I've been around quite a long time. But that was amazing. He did 28 bits, 28 pieces of material, plus a lot of other lines and prancing around and enjoying himself. Yeah. Okay, that was the best production day I've ever seen. He was in the tavern. But he said, you know what he said? He said, okay, boys, do it. So he does get credit. He came out here and said, take care of everything. And he said it very forcefully. So that's...
You know what? You've become as evil. You have become as evil as him.
Well, you know, you're feeding me all these lines. I can't help it. You're the best straight man I ever met.
Thanks, buddy. Now, one of the added benefits that comes free when you have a superstar like that representing your product is free publicity. And of course, it was across all sorts of, morning TV shows and programs around Australia. But look, I've got to say to you is that the big thing that surprised me was the American TV network actually picked this up. And on the night of shooting the commercial over in New York, guess what? It was the #3 news item on the news. Let me show you what they did.
He's one of TV's best-loved comedians, but today Jerry Seinfeld was playing pitchman.
Seinfeld was shooting a commercial in Cedarhurst and creating quite the buzz in town among the locals. Here's CBS 2's Scott Rappaport.
What's the deal with all the cops?
It's all crazy. I'm not allowed to be interviewed, sorry.
What? I mean, what is the deal?
Jerry Seinfeld is here.
Quiet, please.
Yup, behind the plethora of police and fancy movie equipment in Cedarhurst.
Hi.
That's Jerry Seinfeld, animated, keeping hydrated, shooting a commercial for an Australian bank right in the middle of town.
It's really cool. Like, nothing ever happens in Cedarhurst, so it's great.
As scores of the curious and starstruck
He's practicing all his takes. It's really cool.
came out in hopes of getting a glimpse of comic royalty.
We were here since 7 in the morning, and we waited by the trailer, and Jerry came out, and he signed our Friends Brothers cast, and we said hi to him, and someone high-fived him, and he was so nice, and it's so exciting.
Do we need to call you a paramedic?
Not yet.
So why here in Cedarhurst? Jerry's people said he wasn't talking, but we got the scoop from the folks from the bank down under who hired him.
We figured that Jerry Seinfeld's a big enough star to do the commercial where he wanted to do it, and he wanted to do it here.
Really?
Yeah.
Why here?
Yeah, well, it's more convenient for him.
They went all out for the shoot, creating a makeshift bank out of one of the stores right here on Cedarhurst Avenue. Yep, no expense was spared.
How much does he make for something like this?
I think we're paying about $10.50, and then there's some lunch money in there as well. Yeah.
But a rich experience for stargazers here in a most unlikely place. Scott Rappaport, CBS 2 News.
But that's in Australian dollars, so you don't tell how much that is in the U.S. The bank commercial will air in Australia in July. And Jerry, if you're watching, if you want to come back on television, if you're bored, CBS would love to have you.
And just before we finish, I'll play one more of the ads for you. That we made about 30 ads, by the way, on every time we went over. So we'd go over to America, and we would make about 30 ads each time. And the reason is because the Greater Building Society was a large regional TV advertiser. So that means that they're on TV all the time in your Dubbos and your Tamworths and your Port Macquaries and your Lismores and places like that. So we wanted to make sure that we didn't suffer from wear-out factor. And here's just another commercial you might want to have a look at.
Got a show to do, excuse me. Show you later. When it comes to your money, you don't want great, you want greater. It's like maximum. When I go to a drugstore to get pain medication, I want maximum strength. Figure out what will kill me, and then back it off a little bit. Where are you from?
Here.
Well, it's nice to have you back.
The Greater Building Society has one of the highest customer satisfaction ratings in the world. If you want to know why, speak to an expert. Ask a Greater customer.
Anybody here from Wagga Wagga? Don't miss me next week. I'll be in front of the laundromat.
Now, just to recap, the publicity that we got for free was incredible. We were on the Switzer program, we were on the 20-to-1 program. I mean, as it turned out, it ended up being, I think, number 14 or whatever it was in the top 20 celebrity commercials of all time, but it was voted to be, I think it was number 14. Look, if you've got Jerry Seinfeld flogging your product, then it's no surprise that you're going to get free publicity. Before I go, let me just say to you that all of these sports stars and celebrities are potentially open to doing the same thing for you. Now, you're probably not going to get Jerry Seinfeld, but when people say to me, oh, how do I get Bert Newton? Or how do I get Paul Hogan? Well, guess what? Google it these days, okay? In the old days, you had to find out, well, who was their manager? Who was the manager? These days, just Google their name and their management company will come up and start the conversation. Simple as that. Before I go, incentive-based marketing. Now, what I've been preaching here is celebrity endorsement marketing, but incentive-based marketing is something you might like to think about as well. And if you're interested in that, then you might like to click the link above me or below me here. We have an incredible free holiday promotion, which we're packaged up, where you can get a 5-day family holiday at a 4-star resort in Cairns and Gold Coast and Brisbane and Sydney and Melbourne and Adelaide, all these sorts of places, to lure people to buy products or services from you, and you give them your Happy Meal toy, which happens to be a 5-day family holiday at a luxury resort. Imagine getting that for $97 and being able to offer that as an incentive for someone to buy your lounge suite, or to use your dentistry services, or to use your carpet cleaning services, or to buy your motor car, whatever it might be. Particularly at this time, with all of us coming through the situation we've been in, guess what every Australian wants to do? They want to go on a holiday. So why don't you just give them one as a lure, if you like, a client attraction formula, buy something from you. Very, very simple. If you want to learn more about it, click the link above me or below me here, and hopefully you've enjoyed this case study.